are at the season finale of Star Trek Lower Decks, episode 10, The Stars of Night. And I just want to say that this was actually a good episode. I really enjoyed this. You may have seen over my last few reviews that I didn't really enjoy some of the episodes. This episode sort of takes what we've built up in the season, Quark being kidnapped on Deep Space Nine, and a few other things going wrong, and puts them into one combined story. We've got an admiral who goes crazy, who creates these automated ships, which appeared, I think, in the last episode. And there we find out that their code is Rutherford's code, and he used that in Badgie, who is batshit crazy. They're going to decommission the Cali class.
I recommend decommissioning the California class and let the Texas class handle second contact.
Starfleet was founded as a way for humanity to advance into the stars. This would undo centuries of progress.
Captain, I'm sorry, but there are plenty of other cruise ships in the fleet. The Council has decided to take Admiral Buenamigo's advice and shutter the California class.
And the emotional beats were good too. Obviously, Mariner was off doing her archaeology thing, and she was really paranoid about who she was working for, and we find out that it was Admiral Picard funding everything. Don't know where he got the money from. Apparently Starfleet just allows you to have money. So the California class sort of goes into a race to defend itself against this automated class because they want them to replace them in second contacts. The automated ship actually wins the contest but forgets to check for life on a planet, which obviously the Cerritos does. And you sort of see it's this, is it better to have humans going out or better to have drones? And obviously drones are practical, but drones might miss something a human might naturally pick up. It's an episode sort of source we've seen in a lot of Star Trek. They talk about how humanity, the reason we go out to space is humanity. And I think that's what they were trying to do. We had some really cool shots of this automated ships destroying the space dock around Earth. Really cool end sequence with all of the California class ships coming to defend the Cerritos against the one last drone remaining. Shax finally gets to eject the warp core like he's been suggesting for ages. It was a really fast episode. Once they said, okay, we're on a race and we've got to beat these automated ships, it clicked into high gear. And I think that's what saved it, is all of a sudden we were trying to save this ship and this crew that we care about. And I certainly feel that the other episodes lacked any sort of urgency or anything special. And I enjoyed seeing the cast of characters go about and rush around and do their own thing. Like Boimler's gone back to a bit more of a people-pleasing mode because Mariner's not there and the captain's in I'm gonna kick your ass mode. It was a really fun and speedy way to get to the emotional drama. And at the end, when Beckett comes back, she's obviously, she works out after leaving that she just wants to be part of Starfleet. And not because of the traveling through space, and not because of the ship she serves on, but because of the people. And I think that's what most Star Trek shows do, is they, like, the Next Generation cast, to be honest, should have left the ship years. Riker was offered promotion in the season 4 of TNG. He probably should have got his own ship, but they stayed because of family. And that's generally what they do in Star Trek, is the crews stay together for as long as they need to narratively, because the crew becomes a family and they enjoy each other's company. It's a really, it's a tried and true sort of Star Trek message. Voyager has a similar message, Deep Space Nine has a message, that these crews become families, and after 3 years you kind of get the feeling with that. Tendi gets the rebellious Vulcan from the Vulcan segment in the Lower Decks episode where they flip through things, which I thought was really funny.
I will gather my personal items and prepare to return to Vulcan.
You will not be returning to Vulcan.
Curious.
I am recommending you for reassignment to a Starfleet vessel. Your hot-headed ways may make you better suited to serve with humans.
Captain, I ask that you reconsider. I do not believe this punishment is warranted.
And that is exactly the type of outburst which led to my decision. It is final.
I don't know where Jennifer and Mariner's relationship's going to go. It seems that they sort of put that to one side, like, you shouldn't have abandoned your girlfriend. But Mariner wasn't angry at her friends. She wasn't angry at anyone on the ship, even her mum. She was just like, I've taught you to be like this. I taught you to treat me like this. And we've seen over 3 seasons her testing the boundaries. So it's very much we have seen that build up and that distrust and that annoyance. And it's grown into we sort of expect it. And I think the last episode was meant to make you expect her to have said bad things about the Cerritos. So what we've seen this season, majority-wise, is Mariner growing and accepting that she wants to be part of Starfleet. We saw it a little bit in season 2, and we very much see it in this season, is her realising she actually wants to be here. She's been a bit more sort of ready to take on jobs. She's been very sort of... Before she felt like she was, I'm sort of the most experienced of the team, I'm in charge, whereas now she feels like she's a part of the team, which I think is a better way to go ultimately. It's a very interesting change in her character, which has come over the 3 seasons. Now, this episode was great, but we've had a few episodes, like episode 9, I did a review for it, and it's just a really negative review, because I had trouble getting into each episode and having, and enjoying them all. Like, there was episodes I really enjoyed, and there's episodes I was like, this is very average. It just didn't feel like anything special was going on. Certainly we've had more character development, a little less funny, a little bit more serious, I feel. I enjoyed looking at the ships in this episode. Seeing the Kali classes come in for defense was really, really good. Obviously seeing a Sovereign class is great, seeing a Space Dock is great. I enjoyed the character interactions because you do feel at this point like they're sort of, they're one crew and they're happy to feel that way. I certainly don't think that we won't see a season 4. I'm pretty sure it's already greenlit. We've obviously got the cameo of the Lower Decks crew in Strange New Worlds next season in Lower Decks, so that'll be really, really fun to see. Look, this season I don't feel was as good as season 1 and 2, but it was certainly just a fun episodes. I really liked the Peanut Hamper one. Apparently a lot of people didn't. I really liked the DS9 episode. I think everyone did. It was a really great season. There was nothing memorable about this season, but I suppose it's 3 years in. That's gonna be the way it is. There's a lot of TNG, which is just, I don't remember this. And yeah, Lower Decks season 3 is done. We're done for the year. And overall in the season, I'll give probably a full season video on the weekend.